The gaming industry has an accessibility problem. It's so deficient in this area that disabled gamers are often left behind, whether it's through game price, lack of control customization, or expensive third-party hardware. Nintendo is especially awful in this regard. From motion control implementation in their first-party games to a Pro controller that has absolutely zero Pro features, gamers can feel excluded, abandoned, and in some instances, priced out. Let's take a look at Little Nightmares 2 on the Nintendo Switch, an amazing game that desperately needs accessibility options. Alright, let's take a look at the game settings. First, we have the master volume. As you can see, there's just a lonely, sad, and depressed slider. The audio mix wants you, begs you to adjust the music sound and voices individually, but then it realizes that it's impossible and very unfortunate. In this game, audio is key. The music can bully the sound effects and voices into submission, and likewise the sound can overshadow the music and vocals. It can often be difficult to parse the audio, and this has an effect on how you play the game. There should be way more options for audio here, and it should be standard in my book. Not a very good look so far. Next up, we have languages. There are a pretty decent amount of language options here, but not as much as what you would find in a first-party Nintendo game like Super Mario Odyssey. That's to be expected, of course, because Little Nightmares 2 is not a first-party game. Next, we have brightness controls. The game has no HDR options, naturally, so what you see is what you get. Little Nightmares 2 has, just like its predecessor, amazing and jaw-dropping art direction, but at times the lighting choices can make gameplay difficult. You can find yourself falling off edges and plummeting to your demise. To rectify this, you can raise the brightness, but it will often negatively affect the look and feel of the game. Not much to complain here, but I did find myself asking, could the developers have added features for those that are colorblind? Maybe. Finally, we have the control settings. As you can see, there is no way to remap the button actions. However, if you own first-party Nintendo controllers, you can go to your system settings, scroll down to controllers and sensors, and click on change button mapping. As you can see here, I have a Pro controller and Joy-Cons, and I can change the button mapping on all three. Little Nightmares 2 has significantly failed in this regard. Here I am using the quote-unquote Pro controller. As you can see, when I press R, I have to take my entire right hand off of the controller to adequately grab objects and hold on to them. I often fail, especially when jumping and grabbing occur simultaneously. I've died maybe 30 times just from failing to grab at the right moment. And if I have to swing back and forth and let go to land on a ledge, death often blooms. I was lucky here. Here we have the PowerA Enhanced controller. What separates it from the Pro controller is that it has back buttons that can be reassigned to other buttons. I have assigned the left back button to ZR so that I can play the game more easily. But more on that later. For now, I'm going to play with the intended control scheme. Just like with the Pro controller, I have to take most of my disabled hand off of the PowerA when using R for combat. So, R to grab, B to attack. Keep holding R, and then press B to attack. Now I'm using the left back button in place of R. Left back button to pick up the weapon, move forward, B to attack. Notice how my right hand is not removed from the controller. Keep holding left back button, let it go, drop the weapon, press it, pick it back up. This is so much easier. Why Nintendo didn't include these buttons on the Pro controller is beyond me. I'm saving the worst for last. I don't use the Joy-Cons outside of handheld, because I want to minimize drift. I have the same issues with the Joy-Cons as I do with the Pro controller. Not much more to say here. For many disabled gamers, Nintendo's accessibility problems lie in their lack of disability-friendly hardware. You may have to purchase non-Nintendo branded controllers to play some games. Little Nightmares 2 is a platformer, but imagine having a disability like mine and wanting to play shooters. I struggled with Resident Evil 4. Every time I buy a new console, I have to hunt down reasonably priced options to allow me to play most games. The PowerA enhanced wireless controller set me back $50, while the Pro controller emptied my wallet by $70. I use both of those controllers regularly, and it's all dependent on the game. For Little Nightmares 2, I opt for the PowerA. If you're a gamer and enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments. I'm considering Super Smash Bros. Ultimate next. I was quite shocked at how efficiently I can play that game.